Hi guys, Jenifer here, and I am here to finally share with you my Tussie Mussie that I created for a design team project for OohLaLa Vintage Treasures. This was the kit that was called the Snowflakes in Paris kit, and it was a tree kit, but I made it into a Tussie Mussie, which is really awesome that you can use Doreen's kits for really any time of the year. So let me show you what I did. I do have a process after this. If you would like to stay tuned for that, it will be after this. And yeah, so let me know what you think. And I'll just start that I had covered it with the fabric, the fluffy fabric that she included. And then I also covered the bottom portion here in some lace fabric. So I basically, that was my first thing, is I covered it in the fluffy fabric, and then I covered it in this. Then I added this beautiful applique piece, and then I did 3 layers of laces here on the side. At the bottom I tied a bow. I tied a bow here at the bottom, and then I added this little bouquet piece that she included with the goodie bag. It's so pretty. It's got these 3 flowers, and I just thought that was a nice touch there at the bottom. And I usually like to dangle at the bottom, but instead of at the bottom, I decided to dangle around the edges, the top edge. So I did take several of the doilies and just fold them over the top, and it kind of reminded me of like if you had some doilies sticking out of your drawer, or if you had a little basket with doilies around the edge, it would, you know, lay over the edge like that. So I added a lot of doilies around the top to cover the edge. And if you look under here, you could see that I did line the inside with some pink fabric, and then this trim here that she had in the kit, I used it to finish off the edging there. So you can still see that under there. And I used this really pretty heart applique with the dangles as like my focal point. And it's not like right in the center, but it's right there, and it's like, bam, it's so pretty. And then I added these tatting pieces here with some little bits of this flower trim that she included. And then I used the tea-dyed lace flower here and added a little piece of this flower trim with the rhinestone piece. And this piece was so cute. I had to hang that as a dangle right there off of this like heart type, it was like an applique piece. And then over here you can see I added some chain that I put some like cream colored chalk paint on, and then I dangled all of the little charms and the pearls that she had, and this little piece here, and this little dangle piece of lace there. And then this was really cute because this was tea-dyed little piece, and I just cut that out there and added it there. Then I have the chain dangling to this doily, and off of this piece I have this really long chain, and then, I mean, lace, and then this dangle lace, and then this little piece here, and then a little bit more chain dangling there. And then I just kind of went around the edge and made it look, you know, somewhat symmetrical. But the cool thing is there's a bunch of different doilies, and so they lay next to each other, but they're all different, which is kind of cool. And then here I added another piece of the dangle lace that is tea-dyed along with this little piece. So it just looks really cute, and lots of dangle hanging elements. And then I just added inside here this little flower that Doreen sent to me or brought me last time she was here, and I kind of just tucked in some doilies in there to finish it off, but you could see the different doilies around the edges. So I think that'll be a really cute way to send a little gift to somebody, and you can put little treats in there. And I think that's going to be a really pretty display. I was thinking I might put a little handle on here to kind of mimic the way they used to carry these with the flowers inside. But I just thought that was really cute, you know. It looks pretty the way it is, but I think I could hang it from something to display it if I wanted to in my craft room. So anyway, I thought it turned out great. Let me know what you think. Stay tuned for the process, and also stay tuned for another video soon. I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Hi guys, Jenifer here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am putting together a Tussie Mussie for OohLaLa Vintage Treasures. You can see here that I am adding the fluffy fabric that she included with this Snowflakes in Paris kit, and I am just attaching it to the base, which could be like a Christmas tree base, but I decided to make a Tussie Mussie out of it. I thought it was a pretty cool base for a Tussie Mussie. And you won't be able to see this inside of the base here at all after I cover it up. So I'm just kind of figuring out how I want to attach it and if I need to cut off any extra. It was pretty easy to cover. I had no problems. Just trimming the extra little fabric here. I'm sorry that you can't see everything. I didn't realize I was out of frame there a little bit. But I wanted to keep this in so you could see that I was just attaching the fabric, and if you happen to have this kit from OohLaLa, that you could cover it easily. I like that the fabric is quite thick, so it gives it a nice feel around the base of this. I had a lot of fun creating this. This is actually my second Tussie Mussie that I've ever made. I made one last year, I think, and it had the spring that you would put it in, the bed spring, so that was cute. And you can see here, I didn't show that part. It was really difficult to kind of finagle the fabric on the inside, so I just I cut that out. So I lined the inside with some pink fabric that I had in my stash. And now I'm just trying to figure out how I want to trim the top. I love to have all of the laces out and all of the goodies so that I can look through them, and it's really inspiring to see all of them. So you can see I took lots of different doilies and that little bit of a doily that's kind of got a heart on it. I decided to lay them all across the top of the Tussie Mussie and kind of hang over, like I think I explained in the video showing the project, that when I display some of my pieces of doilies and vintage fabrics or tablecloths and stuff like that, I love to have them hanging like over the suitcase or over the basket that they're in and kind of peek out. I love that look, so that's kind of the look I was going for here at the top of the Tussie Mussie. And I was trying to not be so symmetrical and have everything just perfect. I kind of like, you know, the mismatch of doilies, that they don't all have to be the same So anyway, I liked how that looked, and that's what I went with. And I'm just kind of playing around deciding which ones I think look the best next to each other. I love that cute little heart. It's kind of like a doily, but it's a different shape. So now I'm adding the kind of tacking on this beautiful applique that was in the kit, and that was really the focal point, or part of the focal point of this Tussie Mussie. So I had to look back last year when I was looking at, what exactly is a Tussie Mussie and why did they use them. So they would get dressed up, in their gowns, and they would carry these Tussie Mussies that were actually full of flowers, and that would be kind of like an accessory or an adornment to their attire. So that's kind of what they did. We like to recreate those vintage crafts and stuff like that. Makes it fun to kind of recreate what they were doing back then. So they would put a handle on theirs, so they could carry it on their wrist. It was so cute. So I'm using this pink floral fabric to make a little bow at the bottom. I'm adding layers of different trims that she put in the kit just because it needed something else on the side there. And I wanted to kind of showcase the really pretty vintage pieces that she had in there. And I love that she tea dyed some of those. But I love her tea dyeing because it's not so dark. Because sometimes you don't really want it really dark. You want just a tinge or a touch of that tea dyed look in there. It looks really pretty with the pale pink, the whites, the creams. So that's why I called it like vintage shabby. And of course, after I added those two, I wanted the other one on there on top. So that's why I kind of tack things down before I really know what I want. It's so that I could go back and add, different pieces without having to tear apart the entire project, which I end up adding more and more and more in places that if I had actually tacked all that stuff down would be really difficult to remove and just have a glued mess. So, and if you add too much of that, hot glue, it can get hard. So I try to add just enough that it keeps it together, but it's not too thick. So here on the edge of the pink pink fabric that I added to the inside, and then I kind of folded it over the outer lip there, I wanted to finish that, even though you might not necessarily see it all. I always like to have finish edges. I just think it looks a lot nicer, complete, like you took the time to really finish off that edge. And there are times where I want the edge rough and shabby looking, but most of the time if I'm doing something, I do like to finish off the edge. It just depends on what look I'm going for. So I decided I wanted to cover up some of the fluffy fabric, so I decided to use one of the larger pieces of lace, which I end up changing later, and you probably saw that I used some fabric that I had in my stash. It was a cream color and it had some really pretty rose detail on it, and it looked like it was kind of embroidered. So it was really pretty, and so I ended up covering the rest of that fluffy fabric, just so it was more of a base layer than the final layer. So now that I have all of my laces where I want them there, I'm kind of really gluing down the applique. And now this piece was so cute. It was in the kit, and Doreen tea dyed it. And to me, it looked like little candy treats and little like flowers, or I don't know, some kind of mint or something. It just like candy to me, so that was so cute. I was cutting little bits off so that I could use it on the project, even though I wasn't sure exactly where I was going to use it. They're really easy to cut too. I just was kind of trimming off to make them look like a clean edge and rounded. But they're perfect little accents to put here and there. Or you could use it as a whole piece. I just thought, oh, I'd like to make this stretch, you know, and use little bits here and there. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this process and that you'll make a Tussie Mussie. I would love for you to share it with me. Take care, and I will talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye for now.